Respiration. It is the process of exchange of environment oxygen with carbon dioxide which is produced in the cell during the process of oxidation of food stuff that release energy in the form of ATP. It may be aerobic or anaerobic. It may be anaerobic or aerobic. Anaerobic oxygen is not used. Oxygen is used in aerobic. Takes place in cytoplasm only. Occurs in the cytoplasm and mitochondria. Carbon dioxide may not be released. Carbon dioxide always released. End product is ethanol or ethyl alcohol and lactic acid. End product is carbon dioxide and water. It involves two steps, glycolysis in complete breakdown of the pyruvate. It involves 5 steps, glycolysis, pyruvate, oxidation, TCA cycle, ETS, ATP synthesis. बेटा यही सब देखुच जो TCA cycle ट्राई कार्बोक्सी एसिटिल साइकिल माने तमे बड़ क्लास रे टिके टिके पढ़िबो बॉटनी रे एटा पढ़ाबो ETS सेमती इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम एटा पढ़ा जिवो एई प्रोसेस गुरा होची जोथरे ब्रेक डाउन हुए ग्लाइकोजन आउ ग्लूकोज आउ ATP प्रोड्यूस हुए तो it provides less energy means to ATP it provides more energy and this is the equation. This is the equation as I have given in the notes C6H12O6 in presence of yeast and here it is presence of lactobacillus. It is converted into carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol and 2 ATP. It is C3H6O3 plus 2 ATP and here it is the end product is carbon dioxide 12H2 and 36 ATP. Then the human respiratory system. Human respiratory system comprises of following parts: nostril, N-O-S-T-R-I-L, nostril, nasal chamber, internal layers, pharynx, larynx, trachea or bronchi, lungs, and the last part of the lungs is the alveoli. Then the first part comes the nostril. Pair of nostril separated by a thin nasal septum. Nasal cavity is differentiated into vestibular region which is lined with stratified epithelium. The remaining part of the nasal chamber behind the vestibule called nasal or respiratory epithelium. It has goblet cells with pseudo-stratified stratified columnar ciliated epithelium. There is presence of neurotransmittory epithelium called olfactory epithelium or Schneiderian membrane. Schneiderian membrane. Function. It filters dust particles in the vestibular hair. Mucus is sticky and antiseptic, traps foreign germs and kills them, and warm and moisten the air. Wait. Then comes the pharynx, Pharynx. It divided into oropharynx and nasopharynx. Oropharynx means it leads to the buccal cavity, nasopharynx leads to the nasal cavity, and another one is laryngopharynx that leads to larynx. The epiglottis prevents the entry of the food to the nasal passage. Epiglottis. The epiglottis prevents the entry of the food from the esophagus to the nasal chamber or cavity. Then comes the glottis, Glottis. The laryngopharynx leads to the glottis which is covered with epiglottis. Except swallowing, the rest part of the time glottis remain open and allow the free passage of respiratory air. Then comes the larynx. The epiglottis leads to a short and wide chamber known as the larynx present in front of the laryngopharynx. It continues downward to open into trachea and the windpipe. See the diagram. This is the epiglottis, then comes the larynx, then the trachea. Exactly behind that is exactly behind the trachea, that is presence of the esophagus. The presence of the esophagus. Then I have already given you some diagram during the syllabus. Then the larynx, see. So larynx. The glottis leads to the short wide chamber known as larynx present in front of the laryngopharynx and continues downward and open into the trachea and the windpipe. The trachea is in adult male is larger than the female called Adam's apple. And पुओ पिला मानकर गोटे तंटी पाखे थ्रोट रिजन रे प्रोट्रूडिंग हेकी लागे टिके फुलिला भलिया दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द एडम्स एप्पल. Larynx also serve as a sound producing organ. The vocal cord are usually thicker and longer in man than the woman. Hence, there is vibration in the man. Hence, their vibration in the man is slower. Intention on the vocal cord is lessened, and so human female give higher note, means high pitched voice than male. Trachea. The larynx leads to the long, almost 10 to 12 centimeter up to 2.5 centimeter wide windpipe. It runs down the neck behind the esophagus and enters into the thoracic cavity. At the level of 5th, 6th rib, it is bifurcated into a pair of primary bronchi. Each bronchus enters the lungs into its side. Means here it enters into the respective side. The trachea divided into bronchus and it enters into the respective lungs. Then the bronchi. The left bronchus is about 5 centimeter long, but the right bronchus is only 2.5 centimeter. It further bifurcates exteriorly into secondary, tertiary branches, and the branches are linked by ciliated and mucus secreting pseudostratified epithelial and supported by the cartilaginous ring. Supported by cartilaginous rings because it prevents collapsing. Then comes the lungs. Lungs is a pair of structure present in the pleural cavity. Pleural cavity is dorsally enclosed by vertebral column, dorsally enclosed by vertebral column, VERTEBRAL, vertebral column, ventrally by sternum, and laterally by ribs, anteriorly by neck, and posteriorly by diaphragm.